Chapter 7. The Physiology of Emotion. As soon as I saw you, I knew an adventure was going to happen. Winnie the Pooh. In Chapter 5, we talked about the experience of emotion. Now let's talk about the effect of emotion. Imagine a bucket full of smooth, calm water. Imagine you toss a pebble into the bucket of water, and small ripples form. Imagine you toss a rock into the bucket, and larger ripples form. Imagine you wait. Eventually, the water returns to smooth calmness. Imagine you are the bucket and your child is the water. The pebbles and rocks are stressors in your child's life. Stress can be family, peers, school, activities, etc. Stress is the energy created by the body to help your child to get through the experience. The ripples in the water represent the emotional energy that your child feels in these situations. As the bucket, you can feel the energy coming from the ripples in the water, but you must remain firm. As the bucket, you have to hold the space for your child. When you hold the space, you do not absorb your child's energy. Absorbing your child's energy will affect your own energy. This can make you emotional. This can make you feel out of control. This can make you say or do things that only make the situation more intense. Your intention is to make the situation change. You want your child to stop doing that, saying that, making that noise, or whatever else it may be. But when you react to what your child is doing, you are full of their energy as well as your own. You will become a flimsy bucket that is moved by the rippling water. You have absorbed your child's energy and added it to your own. When you react to your child, you put more energy into the situation. The edges of your flimsy bucket transfer energy back into the water and increase the amount of time until the water can calm. For example, when your child throws a fit because you put limits on their screen time, you cannot engage in the battle. When you become defensive, you are affected. When you react, you are engaged. Your child's energy is wanting to get you affected. This gives them power to make change. The change they want is to fulfill their need. This is not a conscious decision for your child. They are programmed to push boundaries. They are programmed to grow and expand. What your child actually needs is for you to place healthy boundaries, and you have to be immovable. You would simply reiterate the rules and not engage in an argument. You do not have to entertain all the comments about being a terrible parent and hearing how all the other children get freedoms that they do not. It's like growing roses. If you let a rose bush grow wild, the bush will produce flowers. If you prune and care for the bush along the way, you will produce a plant full of beautiful flowers. To help your child grow, you must be immovable. The firmer your bucket, the stronger the child. This does not mean that you won't feel your child's emotions, nor does it mean that you won't be affected by your child's emotions. What it does mean is that your child's emotions cannot hijack your own. Remember, the emotional brain is nonverbal and irrational. You are not helping the situation when you respond with emotion. You're just saying that taking care of you is more important than taking care of your child. And in turn, you reveal that you don't know how to take care of you. Feeling comfortable with your own emotions means that your child's emotion cannot take over. When you engage with your child's energy, it increases the emotion of the moment. Unfortunately, what tends to happen is that we blame our children for our intense reaction. Instead, allow your child the space to swash back and forth while you remain unmovable. Don't be afraid of her energy. Hold the space until she is able to settle back into calmness. When you do this, her emotional system recorrects. It adjusts itself to act in a different way the next time round. Your child's emotional system wants to be managed. This is the root of maturation. Maturity is when you can manage your emotions. Your child cultivates the ability to manage her emotions when you remain still. You must be the solid that holds your child together. Even when you feel like you're going to wash away yourself, someone else needs to be your bucket. It cannot be your child. You can sense the energy produced by the emotions of your child, the tantrum, the loud voice, slamming doors, stomping feet. It threatens your own system. It's tempting to take on this energy. Your child's emotions can feel very uncomfortable. This is why it feels uncomfortable for you. Her system screams for help, and you feel like you have to respond. You're the boss. You want to tell your child what to do, to demand certain behavior, to provide consequences. But is that effective? Usually not. We can use the average garden ant to illustrate this concept. When you step on an ant, the ant sends out a signal that communicates danger to the surrounding ants. The ants scurry, reinforcing this message. When you react to your child's emotions, the energy that overpowers them overpowers you. Your child experiences that their world is not safe. They feel insignificant as you are not there to protect them. You cannot withstand their powerful energy. You are both in danger. Unless your child is in immediate danger, there is no need to get pulled into this energy. You get pulled into this energy to help your child, but also to rid yourself of discomfort. You don't like that feeling that comes from your child's unbridled emotion. Your reaction is to take care of you. You need to take care of both of you. You need to be the firm bucket for your child's moving energy. In the face of dysregulation, your child needs your strength to regain peace. This way, you both feel strong, safe, and significant. When you hold the space, you both grow. You must not become reactive when your child is emotional. This is too much for your child to bear. This will teach your child to be emotional. The good news is that you don't have to be great at this yourself. You can work on managing your own emotions at the same time. You have an advantage over your child. You are older and wiser. We think this means that we can teach our children, but what it really means is that you can use it to grow you. Then your child will grow. Emotional well-being comes when you and your child can regulate together. When you do not get pulled into your child's energy, you provide a space where their energy can recorrect. The purpose of this is to communicate. So let it communicate. Just listen. The emotional brain will settle, and the thinking brain will get to work. Your child's thinking brain is desperate to get to work. It wants to become the amazing person that is deep inside. Chapter 8. The Purpose of Emotion. When life throws you a rainy day, play in the puddles. Winnie the Pooh. The purpose of emotion is to communicate. Emotion communicates what is going on inside your child. Your response to this communication impacts your child's emotional well-being. The more you listen, the better the outcome. Listening is more than hearing with your ears. Listening is tuning into the cues that your child's body is providing. Listening is attunement to the energy that is forming inside your child, energy that is looking for a release. To attune your child is one of your most powerful assets as a parent. Your attentiveness can give you the power to hear what your child is communicating. And when you know what is being communicated, you have the power to influence. How you respond is paramount. Listening also includes attunement to the energy that comes from within yourself. When you are in tune, you understand that your body is communicating. What is being communicated is your own body's response to a situation. When tensions rise within you, the natural inclination is to react. This happens when your child is not getting ready fast enough in the morning. This happens when it's the 5th time that you have asked your child to complete a task. You want to use a bit more force in your voice or in your words to motivate your child to action. How you respond is the most critical moment of helping your child to manage their emotions. You want this because emotional regulation is the root of individual strength. When tensions rise, it is the result of your child's emotional energy plus your own. Your reaction can make matters worse. This is much like the classic science experiment of the exploding volcano. Imagine that your child's emotion is the baking soda inside the volcano plug. Your emotional state is the vinegar. When you pour the vinegar into the baking soda, you get an explosive response. Baking soda, child's emotion, plus vinegar, parent's emotion, equals explosion. If you don't want an explosion, don't pour the vinegar onto the baking soda. When we become emotional, we increase the chance of an explosion. Your intention is to manage your child's emotional state, but instead, the situation gets worse. Everyone is more emotional. Your child is feeling like something is wrong with him. He is feeling scared. You may excuse this behavior thinking you need to teach your child. You're the boss. But excuses don't raise children. Unfortunately, they have the power to create the feelings of shame and internalized hatred for oneself. But don't worry, children are resilient and highly receptive to parents that are always trying to improve. The result is a child that feels defective, especially if your verbal language is hurtful. Your emotional response is penetrating. Your child thinks that something is wrong with him. He feels shame, guilt, even fear. This was not your intention. You felt your own surge of discomfort, but you took care of your feelings instead of your child's. You didn't mean to do it that way, but that is what it means for your child. The intention of your emotion was to communicate to your child that you were not pleased with him. The purpose of your emotion was to create change. Something was wrong. It could have been his behavior or his actions that needed to change. As a parent, you stepped in. Makes sense, but this is not how your child will see things. Your child will integrate that he is the problem, not his behavior, but him the person. Your child does not have the capacity to separate his value from his behavior. Children that think they are a problem become self-fulfilling prophecies. They become problem children because they learn who they are through you. How you interact with your child teaches them who they are. Your child connects to you when you can manage your emotions. Your child connects to himself when he can manage his emotions, especially with your support. We all want to be connected. If you have a hard enough time managing your own emotions, how can you expect your child to do so? Your emotion is there to warn you and protect you. Emotion is real. It is neither good nor bad. How we act on the emotion can become a problem. When a child's emotional state is threatening to disrupt our own, this is not an invitation to act on your emotions. This can lead to reprimanding, ignoring, or minimizing your child, which is hurtful for both of you. What is beneficial to both of you is your ability to not engage with their dysregulation. There is another way to support your child through this process. You need to manage your emotions for your child to learn that they have value. This is how you cultivate emotional well-being. When your child's emotion threatens your internal state, you first need to tend to you. You need to contain your emotions. You need to refrain from interactions with your child until you can remain neutral. Neutral is the state where you are the firm, immovable bucket that holds the space. This is the space where your child's emotions can work their way out. This is the space where you and your child grow together. This is where connections form, connections to oneself and connections to others. Building connection is another purpose of emotion. We connect to ourselves when we can tolerate the discomforts that well up within us. We connect to others when we can tolerate the discomforts that exist in their presence. The best listeners are those that can hear others' emotions yet remain neutral. Listening shows that we care, while remaining strong enough to not get pulled in. This is the source of connection. Don't worry. If you fear you have already messed up, you probably have. You will mess up. That's why it's not just what you do that matters. It's what you do after what you've done. Apologize to your child when you mess up. Take ownership, explain what you did wrong and how you will work to improve. Work on improving together. This makes for beautiful bonding on a level that feels amazing.